Welcome to Alive to Thrive OT. I'm Tracy Schnabel.
And I'm Lauren Lyman.
And we are two occupational therapists, as you know, that noticed a gap in the healthcare system. Some of those gaps include nutrition and mental health. So we're just here to talk to you about those things and to give you information. Now, about that information. All claims made on our podcast, videos, and website are for informational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice. So we don't give any warranties in the information provided in this video or other videos. And we're not responsible for any injury or loss suffered from any viewing parties. Again, this is just to empower you to have more information to go back to your doctor with. And if you have a medical emergency, please call 911. So today we wanted to do something since Thanksgiving is coming up. We thought there's like this great topic of gratitude, that gratitude is actually great for your health. So again, it has to do with mental health, which isn't always incorporated into healthcare. But if we did incorporate things like gratitude, we could see some pretty profound changes, some changes you'd be blown away by. So I'm going to have Lauren kind of start about what gratitude is exactly.
So in college, I took an entire course on the science of subjective well-being. So basically the science of happiness. So I went back to my book because I kept it because I liked it. And there's a whole chapter on gratitude. So I'm just going to steal some of their definitions, and then we're going to talk about our personal and professional opinions related to gratitude. So the meaning of gratitude. There were three different definitions, or three different components. One is a warm sense of appreciation for somebody or something. You appreciate the people who are in your life. Two is a sense of goodwill toward that person or thing. You want to do things to help that person. And three, a disposition to act that flows from appreciation and goodwill. And then you act based on you wanting to help someone, so you end up helping somebody, right? So you're grateful that someone's in your life, and it gives you this sense of like, I want to do something for them too. So that's what gratitude is. And in the book, they were talking about a couple things that gratitude does for us. One is gratitude strengthens social relationships. It counters negative stress, especially from people who are depressed. And it's a resiliency factor in times of stress. So when you are very stressed out, gratitude is a great coping mechanism and a great way to help you get through whatever is stressing you out. It's associated with, hang on here, there's a lot. Life satisfaction, vitality, happiness, self-esteem, optimism, hope, empathy, and the willingness to provide emotional and tangible support for other people. And it's negatively associated with, which means it lowers the incidence of anxiety, depression, envy, materialism, and loneliness. And the best thing is that there's a ripple effect. So if you have an attitude of gratitude, it spreads. It spreads into every aspect of your life. It spreads into the lives of other people. It's just like a spiral of positivity. So it's a great emotion, and we should not just use it during Thanksgiving when we're going around the table saying what we're grateful for. We should be using this every day, and this should be how we look at life, right?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. Like, I work at a school, and we were having the kids focus on what they're thankful for, and they got so excited, and they started talking about their friends and all the good qualities of their friends. But if we taught children and we taught ourselves to really have gratitude for everything in our life, that could profoundly affect how we live. Some interesting history, though, is like historical things that I found out is in different religious documents. There was an NPR episode the other day where they were talking about how even in Catholic prayers, there's this like idea of forgiveness, an idea of I'm sorry, and an idea of gratitude in a lot of the prayers. So they're saying like this idea was what they were seeking to get people to be in a like higher state of like happiness and tranquility. Mm-hmm. And they also had it in like Hawaii. It's called Ho'oponopono. So it's this idea of kind of like making things right, and what you were saying, Lauren, about like having appreciation for like the other person and not going into like an argument with them where it's like, let's see who's right, but let's see how we can make it right. So it's just kind of like this more compassionate way to live life. And if you think about that, like physiologically, like coming from our background, that makes sense, because in some of our other videos, we're talking about how our body tenses, right? When we're in a state of fear or anger or like all those negative emotions. So then what I learned as a therapist is anytime blood is not able to flow like to your brain, which is they say when you get angry, your IQ actually drops. In psychology, they were saying that like you can't think in the same way that you normally can, which I later found out is because the frontal brain is what is responsible for higher level thinking, like decision making, planning. And then your lower brain is back here, the fear-based brain. So the more primitive brain takes over during fear responses. So then we're not able to think clearly. So this idea of being calm and having gratitude literally has a physiological reaction on your body and allows you to not get sick, because when we're tense, it releases cortisol and it makes our muscles tight. So your body is no longer in a sense of homeostasis. So these things, these ancient teachings that I know sometimes like people think like, oh, it's irrelevant. Like they really had some really awesome secrets to like the body and to humanity that can make us healthy, but we've just kind of cast it aside as like old news, you know, or not integrated it into healthcare. So it's cool. Yeah.
Looking at that evolutionary perspective, like Tracy was talking about, the positive emotions, if you think back to when we were living outside thousands and thousands of years ago, you know, we relied on each other. We traveled in packs. Think of a pack of wolves. That was people. We traveled in these packs, and yeah, it was survival of the fittest, and yeah, Darwinism and whatever. But we also helped each other. We worked as a team, and we were grateful for one another because, evolutionarily speaking, we had the brain capacity to know that when we're grateful for other people and appreciate what they're doing, they will help us. And they knew we need this to be a team effort for us to survive. And I feel like this is another instance where we have out-evolved ourselves. So we were saying with, you know, the jaw and the eating and the diet and stuff, we kind of out-evolved ourselves. This is another way because we have gotten to the point where we think that we're self-reliant. We think we don't need anybody. We think that we need to one-up other people, to be better than other people, to brag about what we have, that materials matter. None of that stuff matters, and it's showing in our health because we are so sick as a society. And you look at other societies, you know, like in Japan or China, or like places where they focus, or monks, look at monks, right? They focus on gratitude and thanking a dead mouse for its purpose in life, thanking a dead bug, releasing bugs outside instead of killing them. They just have like this attitude of gratitude throughout the day in every aspect of their lives, and they're so much more content. They're more at peace with life. They don't compare themselves to other people, and they're healthier and they live longer. And as Tracy was saying, stress takes a huge toll on our health, and negative emotions cause stress. And gratitude, as that book just said, scientifically has been shown to be negatively correlated with stress, meaning the more grateful you are, the less stressed you are, and the more resilient you are to stressful situations. So, I mean, like, sign me up.
Yeah, and it's just on a metaphysical level, too. Like I was talking about blood flow earlier. So on a cellular level, like we're talking also in our earlier videos about the electrical body. So like we each have a vibe, right? So Lauren was talking about how like you can feel like if you like somebody or you don't, or if somebody's into you or they're not, you feel their vibe. We have an electrical frequency that our body is emitting, and that's based off of our cellular health, right? Which is also based off of the flow in the body. That's just talking about the circulation. So if your cells aren't getting circulation, which is the vitality, then, you know, those electrical signals and the blood and everything is not circulating right. And then your vibration's going to be not as high, right? So it's going to go down the more stressed out you are. And the more happy, the more gratitude you have, the more blood flow, the more your body is moving, the more cellular repair, everything we were talking about, the emotional body connection, and the higher you vibrate, and then you'll start to notice people are actually more attracted to you.
People literally gravitate towards you.
Yeah, because they want to know what you got. What is
all
this?
These words, I feel like we use these words and are just like, oh, it's just like an expression. But it's not just an expression because it came from somewhere. Like gravitating towards you, that's literally a thing. That's like your energy. It's happening. Literally gravitating towards somebody who's more positive. So it's like positivity and gratitude feeds off of positivity and gratitude. So like they say, surround yourself. The five closest people in your life are the ones that are going to have the biggest impact on your life, your mood, your happiness. So surround yourself with positivity, and then you can start emitting positivity. And it really is a practice. So I know people are like, okay, this sounds great, but how do I do this? I have so much stress in my life. I'm busy. I don't have time. I don't have the energy, whatever. You could keep a gratitude journal. You could keep a diary and write things that you're grateful for every day, but not even just listing things. I think it's really important to expand upon things. I mean, they have these journals, and studies have kind of showed mixed reviews with the journals, but one, what kinds of things are you saying that you're grateful for? Are you saying, I'm grateful for, my promotion at work? Are you saying, I'm grateful that I have a lot of money? Or are you saying, like, I'm grateful for my friend Tracy here, who is, like, super supportive and has changed my life profoundly, and we're on this, like, journey together, and this is great. Like, do you see the difference? Like, oh, I'm grateful that I have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Next, where it's, like, I'm grateful for... And then really explaining like a person or a situation or an experience that you're grateful for. So we're so focused on the materialistic things in life. And I would challenge you to create a journal and talk about everything that's not materialistic. Unless like there's a material in your life, like a locket or something that has really important meaning to you or something. But stop measuring your life and your happiness on your possessions and start measuring them on your experiences and the people in your life. And I really feel like you'll see a shift.
There was this another guy on NPR. I think he was a psychologist. His son was like somehow inspired him to be more have more grace and more gratitude. And so he decided, I forgot how it started, to like find out all the people that contributed to his coffee bean in the morning. I love coffee. So he like found out like where it came from and all the people, and wrote letters to everybody thanking them for each step of the process. And, at first he promised his son that he would do it. And at first I think he thought, oh, this is kind of arduous. But then like eventually like he started to feel really great about like actually taking the time to think about that and do that. So not that like you're going to do that, but I just thought it was really interesting concept just to have like so much gratitude. And then something else I wanted to talk about, which I'm not sure if it's going to follow, but it's partially that. We talked about before how with the study that was done with the water and the water crystals and like saying that prayer, it's I'm sorry, thank you, I love you, which is really interesting because at the Mind Body Center that I go to in Mount Prospect, check it out, it was saying that like as a part of the activity is we should always be saying this prayer, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you. And if you even say it, okay, Lauren, say it with me real quick. Like it's, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, thank you, I love you. You start to really feel like a shift in you. And it's not just words, but it's literally changing you as you say it. And it actually changed the water crystals. People saying that prayer over the water crystals changed it into these beautiful crystalline structures versus when they talk to the structures in a negative way. So like the words that we say out of our mouth actually like affect our metaphysical structure. So having that gratitude for saying, thank you, I'm sorry for, to yourself, to others, for anything negative, I love you, like having love and seeing past anything negative really like helps raise your vibration. And I think that that's why it was said to say that in that prayer. And I thought it was interesting, like all these connections, right? Because they're seeing it in the metaphysical science realm. They're seeing that like in the religious texts of Catholics, Christians. And then they're also seeing it, in the Asian teachings. So it's like been said over and over and over again, but we're like ignoring it.
We don't need that. I feel like we think we're better or above it, but we're not, because again, our bodies are what they have always been. I mean, we haven't evolved. Our emotions and our brain may have evolved enough to experience complex emotions, but not to handle them. So you need, perception, you make your reality. Your perception is your reality. Yeah. So if your perception is my life sucks, I had a bad day, it's raining, my hair got wet, I look terrible, then yeah, your reality is going to suck, because that is your perception of your reality. Yeah. Or you could say like, it was raining and now my flowers are going to grow. That's like a total different perspective. Or there's always this example of the beach. You go to the beach and there's like garbage, just a little bit of garbage on the beach, right? And one person is going to perseverate on that garbage. Like, this beach is disgusting, there's so much garbage. Another person may not even notice that little piece of garbage and just see the ocean and the waves and the sunset and be perfectly content. So, I think that a lot of it is learned. Yeah, you have personality traits, but your personality is shaped by your life experiences at a very young age even. So whether or not you even realize, things that happen to you as a baby even shape the way that you look at life, because again, it affects you at a cellular level. So consciously, you may not even realize that you're one of these people, but at a cellular level, maybe you were abused as a child, or maybe you didn't get a lot of attention because there were a lot of kids in the house, or whatever the case may be. Your parents got a divorce, something that you thought that you got over or didn't even know that you experienced because you were a baby, your body remembers. So I think it's important to now say on a conscious level, okay, I need to forgive myself, I need to forgive other people, I need to have this attitude of forgiveness, even if I don't even know what I'm forgiving because I don't remember. Just having the attitude of like, I forgive myself, I forgive other people, and I'm grateful for all the experiences and all the people that I have in my life. And again, that's attractive. People are attracted to people who are positive and happy and grateful. So if you force yourself, there's that expression, fake it till you make it. And on the one end, it sounds awful, but I truly believe in this, because you're telling yourself, if you tell yourself something enough, you'll believe it, right? If someone tells you you're stupid enough, eventually you're going to start believing you're stupid. If you tell yourself, I'm worthy of love, I am a good person, these self-affirmations, even if you're just saying them and you don't really believe them at first, say it to yourself enough and you may eventually believe it. So you can change the way that you look at yourself and the way you look at the world, and it will bring so much positivity to your life. So,
and I just read this other article the other day, and it was so interesting. It was about Dr. Len, and he was a psychologist that went into a psychiatric hospital, and the psychiatric hospital was really horrible. They had a huge turnover rate. It was people that had committed like crimes. It was a criminal psychiatric hospital, and he did the I'm sorry, thank you, I love you, like over their files, and like it was like creating that space in there. And he did that for 4 years, and they said that the hospital had like a whole turnaround. People that were calling off and like, just leaving, and the patients like weren't improving. Like the patients got off their medications, the staff wanted to come in every day, and it was a complete turnaround just by him focusing. And he said that he was realizing, and this is kind of wild, okay, so just stay with us, that what Lauren said, we create our own reality, right? So like part of the responsibility we have is not just for ourselves, but for others, because we also contribute to the world we have around us. So he was seeing like what he contributed to even in the place that he worked. And like as he healed himself with those words and like raised his vibration, it had an effect also, like Lauren was saying, in the entire psychiatric hospital. So as we forgive others and as we change our vibration, as we change how we see the world, we change the world. So we're responsible for, the earth and for like, all these different things, who's in the political office, who's, how we're doing our healthcare. Like we're, in a way, we are responsible for those things. And I think we've also like started to have like a disconnect where we all want to be on our own islands, right? Like we're on our own Facebook islands where we're like, this is our space. And then I don't leave it. So we can't really be in a bubble because that's not what they're finding in metaphysics. Like we're all talking, like I'm talking to Lauren right now, and we're all impacting the earth, and the earth is impacting us, and our vibrations are affecting each other. So we can't live in a bubble.
And I'm glad you mentioned Facebook, because if we get off of the cellular level and go back to the superficial level, conscious level, Facebook is so bad for us. It's really bad for us. So, one, people are addicted to their phones. They're constantly checking their social media. If you check your phone more than 2 to 3 times a day on social media, you're definitely addicted. I made that number up. That's my opinion. Two, what is social media? It is a perceived reality. It is somebody like fancifying their life, right? Like, oh, look I made this beautiful dinner, and people who do that. Or, look at this picture of me and my son, we're so happy, and maybe it took like an hour to get that picture because he was crying the whole time. Like you don't see beyond what people want to show you. And yeah, some people have full disclosure, but a lot of people don't. They don't want to advertise, air their dirty laundry on social media. So you only see the good things. So you're seeing the good from however many friends you have, hundreds of people, yet you're experiencing both good and bad. So what do? Naturally, you compare your life to their life. Oh, look at them. They're so happy. They're so in love. Their kid is so great, whatever. And really, no, they struggle too. So Facebook is such a skewed perception of reality. And it's, again, shaping our perceptions, which shape our realities. And it's making people depressed. I mean, we have a society that's more depressed than any other society that ever was.
It's breeding narcissism too, like, it's all about me, it's all about what I did, it's all about what I'm projecting, so I think that it's contributing to that disconnect. And we're like saying, I noticed like happy birthdays to people and like checking in on them and the different things, but we're not like talking anymore. We're not getting together anymore. And we maybe have like 1,000 friends. Like I see a lot of people with 1,000 friends on Facebook, but like, how close are you to those 1,000 friends? Right. So we need to have like real connections and less projections, if that makes sense.
So what can you do? What are things that you can do? Again, there's the gratitude journal, but that's what you can do for yourself to help you. Once you get there, you can help other people. So it's really just even changing the way that you frame your questions or the way that you talk to people. So maybe instead of saying like, how was your day today? At work, like you can say, what was one good thing that happened to you today? Or what are you doing this weekend? What are your plans for this weekend? What is one thing you're really excited about to do? Frame it in a way that's not as open-ended. It's just positive. So it's like you have a positive question, and it forces that person to give you a positive answer, because you're not asking about the negative. You're only asking about the positive. Tell people every day, give people something that you're grateful for, and I actually did this it didn't last long. I have to get back to this. I had this little notepad. It was from work. It was one of the little stars, and we weren't using them anymore because we started this thing at work where we wrote down things that someone did or something we were grateful for, and we posted it on the bulletin board. And so I had some at home, so I started jotting some things down for my husband and just left it out, and it was nice. And then I stopped doing it.
That's nice.
Something like that, right? So having even just verbally or leaving a little note of gratitude with somebody, sending someone a card, go to the dollar store and just buy a card, buy a blank card and fill it out and send it to someone you haven't talked to in a while, or someone who's struggling, or point out the good in people and stop dwelling on the bad. And that is hard because it's a habit that we have, and habits are hard to break, but you can do it.
Yeah. And then they found also in an article you sent me, Lauren, that like it was saying that they did a studies of people that wrote gratitude, things that they were happy about and thankful for. And then they had like people that just did like traditional, like, psychotherapy, and then they wrote down about their negative experiences, and then people that just had like the regular psychotherapy. And they found like the people that had wrote down their gratitude had significant improvements in depression and anxiety compared to traditional therapy alone. So, and they also found in functional MRIs that we're talking about, the two parts of your brain, right? So like the lower brain, the primitive brain that reacts when you feel threatened, and then the part of your brain that allows you to foresee the future and kind of create your own reality. That it was more active in the prefrontal cortex when people were doing gratitude journals. So it's, again, affecting your brain, affecting your physiology, affecting your metaphysical being, like your cellular being. So it's having like so many scaffolding effects. And so it's not just like this foo-foo shi-shi, like just be happy and hug a tree, which is good for you, by the way.
So your homework, what you need to work on, do a gratitude journal, but don't focus on material things. Write about people, write about experiences, memories, things like that. Start complimenting people and acknowledging the good that people are doing. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
See, it's easy.
So yeah, have a great Thanksgiving. Think about how happy you are to have those people in your life that love you. We have so much to be grateful for, and sometimes we focus on what we don't have and come from a place of lack instead of coming from a place of abundance.
So take the time out of your daily life to express gratitude and to feel gratitude, because not only will it help somebody else, but like we said, it's associated with all these positive things, and it's negatively associated with anxiety and depression, which a lot of people suffer from, and addiction.
Yeah, so if you have depression or you have anxiety, try writing a journal about all the things that you're excited about or that you're appreciative for. 10 things every day. Try it.
So
what can it hurt? Okay.
Okay, so thank you for joining us today. Please like our video, check out our channel, subscribe to our channel, share our videos, sign up for alerts so that you know when we post new videos. We post them every Tuesday. And then visit us at Facebook, www.facebook.com/Lauren and Tracy. And if you want to email us, we do have a whole food nutritional product that we recommend for everyone's health and well-being. So just send us an email at alive2thriveot@gmail.com.
And we are wishing you physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Thanks for coming. Bye, guys.